So let's just settle into our comfortable seated posture. And you can, depending on how you're sitting, if you're sitting cross-legged or whether you have your feet flat on the floor, see if you can feel the sensation of the weight of your feet on the floor or the weight of your legs on your feet. Excuse me. And then feel the backs of the legs on the chair, your sits bones in the chair, your shoulders aligned with your hips, and your ears aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. Relaxing the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and the area around the mouth, the back of the head. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just be aware of your breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. Being aware of any distractions that might be in your orbit. That goes for sound, smell, and distractions on the screen. And Ria, I don't know if Jerry's here. Ria knows Linda. She traveled with us to Nepal. So she looked up, she asked Gemini, why is she not able to pull herself away from Facebook on her phone? And how does she get so Gemini went into a whole neurological and psychological explanation of how these AI the programs are designed to keep us hooked in and to keep us watching even when we want to leave. So just be aware of that. And one of the solutions from Gemini was to not to use Facebook, TikTok, all these kinds of things on your phone, but to do that kind of thing on your computer. Anyway, apparently it's far less addictive. I won't go into it now, but ask Gemini. You'll get some kind of very interesting answer. Anyway, just being aware that these kinds of things can be distractions. So you may get a notification on your phone while you're doing this meditation, and particularly if you're looking at the screen, you might get a notification coming in through from Facebook or Instagram, and then we're so habituated to obeying everything that comes through and opening it and looking at it. So be aware of that temptation. And don't worry, don't feel bad, because the programs have been designed to hook you in and keep you hooked in. So just something to think about. And then, think about your mind, just allowing the thoughts to arise, and then think about all the people of your life, your friends, the enemies, strangers, and realizing they're all equal. They want to be happy and they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So you start with the power of regret. and sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And then we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So our little section here on compassion. So it's under the main heading of reliance, because we're relying upon other beings, the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, to develop compassion. So you think of people you've harmed and have a wish for them to be free from suffering, and then think of those who have harmed you, particularly these ones, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering in the future. So then we have the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification using visualization and mantra. This is the medicine. This is where we do the practice. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mata Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva, again, very happily, sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimbi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, jita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Te. So again, be so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it happens as instantaneously as when you flick on a switch in a room that's dark and the light comes. It's instant. It's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness, bitterness and grudges and disappointments and anger, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jita Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely. So remember the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and blasting all the delusions. And this is happening all at the same time, as well as you reciting the mantra, and this eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sabosidi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mata vajra bawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe ambhadra safa samayam manupalaya vajra safa dina patita Jita me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sabosidi me yata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sabosidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sabosidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sabosidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva a hum pe ambhadra sattva samaya manubalaya vajra sattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment has been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with your body and speech and mind. And without this determination, without making this kind of decision, you're just going to keep following the same old energy habits over and over again. So we have to decide. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And then just, don't make a big deal of it, though. Just kind of have it, maybe can be simple as you just thinking about something or becoming more aware of your habits. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Arahat Bhikshu, defilements exhausted, devoid of passion, master of the senses, arrived at comfort, met with security, for he, having cooled down, is free from stains. Equipped in full with knowledge and its base, a Sagata best knower of the world, not thinking me, not clinging unto mine, established in the system of two truths, upon the edge of cyclic life's far shore, with deeds accomplished resting on the bank, emerging from untainted lone awareness, with sword-like insight ever penetrating. All right, everyone. Please have a wonderful and safe Christmas holiday. So just in addition to what I was saying before, is when you're in Nepal, there's many different types. So when we were all there was Diwali and there was Dashain and there was this and that and this honoring the brother or anything, the sister honoring the dog. And so, you know, and Lama Tsongkhapa Day was coming up afterwards. So, and if they see you and you're a Westerner, it's the 25th of December, they say Happy Christmas. If if you happen to be a Buddhist, they'll say Happy Lama Tsongkhapa Day. If you happen to be um, everybody says Happy Diwali to each other. So it's almost like this respect of, oh, you're of this culture and this is your holiday today, and you'll say that to that person. So it's just very, very sweet. It's a very sweet way of just respecting everybody's religion and their culture and their beliefs. And so, yeah, there are places in the world where that does happen. So take courage from that. Okay, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for Lamsa Rinpoche to come back soon, and then for all of your individual teachers to live long. So Venerable Tenda, who was one of Lamsa Rinpoche's close attendants, he never came to America, somehow couldn't get a visa, but he was always very much by Rinpoche's side, and he's a very well-respected monk from the Tantric College in at Kopan Monastery. And he said, if you want to see Rinpoche, create merit. So in a way, it's up to us. But what we're doing here is creating quite a lot of merit. And I think in the last 5 years, we've done probably around 1 million of these mantras, all of us together, all the group. And so I think if we do this, we're coming into our 6th year. If we do this for another 5 years, we'll have made 2 million mantras. So it's almost the equivalent of a great retreat. So a great retreat is 3 years. It takes about 3 years for the people to recite 1 million mantras in a great retreat. So all together, all of us collectively have probably done the equivalent of a great retreat mantra count. So I mean, it's not quite the same, but anyway, there we are. I found it very encouraging, so I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so thank you very much for being part of that, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, however you say it, and lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow, and drive safe if you're driving anyway. Okay.